Hello, my beautiful people. Hello, my empowered, amazing people. Welcome back to another Empower Hour with Coach Anna. And I'm your wonderful Coach Anna. And here is my guest, Rickey Getwood. Rickey, say hi.
Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on?
And of course, our beautiful executive producer, Abigail, is here too.
Executive producer.
Executive producer.
I love it.
Yeah, she's awesome. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back to our Empower Hour. I am so excited for today because Rickey's story is an amazing story. And it's almost kind of related to mine because he as well used to be morbidly obese, correct, Rickey?
Morbidly obese.
And so we're going to hear a little bit from him, a little bit similar perspectives, not so similar because he went a whole other way with his. So yeah, without further ado, Rickey, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Awesome. First of all, I just want to say I'm happy to be here and I'm glad that you invited me.
Of course.
And I did check out your story as well. So congratulations to you as well. That's what I wanted. I just got to start off by saying that. So I'm going to just give you just a brief story about myself. Yes, I used to be 400 pounds. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I was on medication. I was on all this stuff, man. And so I understand people who are depressed, obese, not comfortable with their bodies, right?
Yeah.
But I made the decision that I'm not going to take my life. I'm going to live the best life possible, right?
Yeah.
So from going from 400 pounds, I became obsessed with fitness. I became obsessed with becoming a better version of myself. So that led me to becoming a life coach, personal trainer, massage therapist, anything to do with health and wellness. That's my specialty.
Oh, wow. Did you guys catch that? That he understands people who are disempowered.
Mm-hmm.
That can be depressed, that can be not liking their lives. So pay attention to that, guys. So, Rickey, Can you give us a little bit more insight as to how did you let yourself get so disempowered to that point? What happened there?
How many stories do you want? I got 5 of them.
You got 5? Okay. Give us three.
Okay, so I could just be honest about, and I'll talk about this in my book as well. I'll talk about how I was raised in a small town, right? Dad not really around, raised with a single mother, not many influences. And so there was only 2 options growing up. After when I decided not to go to college, I had kids early. It's like, okay, well, I lost my football scholarship. I had a kid right out of high school. And so that just kind of was the beginning of, I'm not myself anymore. Yeah, that was the beginning of it. It was like, well, I knew all throughout high school, I was like, I'm going to play football. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to college. I'm going to become a psychologist. So once I had a kid, that just stopped everything.
It changed.
Everything changed. And so I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have anybody say, hey, no, you should still go and do this. It was just like impulsive, insecurity, just do whatever you think should be done, right?
Yeah.
So I let myself go.
Oh. Okay.
I just stopped. I stopped working out. I stopped even, don't get me wrong, like back in those days, there wasn't all this technology with
the demotivation guy.
Yeah. So it's just like, I'm not motivated no more. Only thing I know how to do is go to work and have a family, right?
Okay.
And when you don't have anybody telling you what to do, how to do it, you just kind of fall into the system of what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Working.
Follow the status quo.
Yeah, you're right. So I went from leaving out of high school, been on varsity since I was in 9th grade, all these scholarships and super fit, right? Mm-hmm. To 200 pounds leaving out of high school. Within a year, I had gained over almost 200 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
it was serious.
I was serious. I was eating everything. I didn't care. It was like once I realized I wasn't going to go to college and play football anymore, food was my comfort.
Oh,
just bring it on. Just anything. Bring me the food. You know what I mean? And I was big on snacks and eating Little Debbie oatmeal cakes. And now I understand nutrition, right?
Yeah.
But back in those days, it was just like eat any and everything. So I was eating any and everything. And I just let myself go. And that was like the beginning of a long, long journey. I've actually lost and gained weight 5 times in my life.
Oh,
but it's always situational. So I've learned it's situational. Yeah.
Wow. That's a big word, situational, because and it definitely depends on what situation we are in.
Right.
that our feelings can overpower our mindset, and definitely because I'm sure that when you were eating the Debbie cakes and everything else, you weren't feeling your best. So your mind is like, let's go to food for the comfort.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, anything I could do to make myself feel good.
Yeah.
Food was it.
Food was it.
Oh, was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I was there.
Yeah.
For me, it's cookies.
Cookies. Yeah.
And Colombian chocolate. And Colombian cookies.
Just cookies. And
just Colombian sweets overall.
That's it. Yeah. And I was just, again, anything I could eat at that time, anything that was available, and we cooked bad, fried food, starchy foods. You know what I mean? So not only was I eating highly processed foods, which now I understand is like all that stuff is totally killing you at the same time.
Yes, guys, don't eat highly processed foods.
Yeah, no, like the whole conversation on that. You know, so highly processed foods, foods cooked in grease and highly seasoned and
everything. And then 1 year, 200 pounds. Wow. Yeah. And right there, I feel like that's a big mindset thing for you to definitely go from like, this is like, how can I phrase it so that we can show the audience that break point, that the break point between what you believe that how you want to lead your life versus what life has for you, and how you control yourself throughout what life throws at you, correct? Versus you going down the Rickey way where you gain 200 pounds in 1 year. So can you help me differentiate that for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, you need to know yourself. Like if you don't know yourself at all, you're going to fall subject to your environment, right? So your environment pretty much dictates your life. So in my environment, nobody exercised at that time. Okay, I hate to throw my family out there, but I gotta be honest.
Okay? You're gonna be honest.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. You know, nobody exercised. Nobody practiced proper nutrition. Nobody had a healthy mental state of mind, right? And it was just, again, I'm from Port Arthur, man, and that side of town, we just like, you just kind of go through the motion. You know what I mean? Okay. So I became a product of my environment. Fortunately, I grew up with parents and grandparents who were just adamant workers. You know, they just like go to work. My grandfather retired from the refinery, and I went right into the refinery working. So I worked. Wow. Yeah. So I knew how to work. That wasn't a problem, but I didn't know myself, right? Okay. So in this phase of messing up, and I'm still young. Don't forget, I'm only 18, and I'm 42 by the way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 18 with no guidance, in a place where I don't know myself, and the only thing I know how to do is work, eat, and try to raise a family.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You know, so my environment put me in a place where like, what else are you going to do? I'm not going to college. Nobody's telling me to go to college. Nobody's telling me to continue to pursue my career. Yeah. What are you going to do? Work, eat, try to raise a family. Work, eat, try to raise a family.
And that repetition just threw you into the cycle of,
That was it. That's the only thing I knew. So I spent, maybe 15 years just in that cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over.
No way. I don't believe you.
No, yeah.
15 years in that same cycle.
15 years.
So what made you wake up from those 15 years?
True story. I told you I got a bunch of stories.
Okay. Second story. Here we go, guys.
So in my 400-pound weight, right around the time I was probably like 390, something like that. Back in the day, there was Astroworld that was here in Houston, right? And we wanted to go to Astroworld, me and the family and everything. And I went to get on this ride. Okay, I went to get on, I think it was the dungeon drop, right? So I went to sit on the ride, and they went to put the seatbelt on me, and I was so big that they couldn't close the seatbelt on me.
Oh, I've dealt with that one, guys.
Really?
I mean, he went to Kima. I think it was Kima Park, and it was one of those little, like, it was a small one too. Like it's just like the little bus that kind of goes around. Right. I think it goes backwards, and that's why because it's in a cage. Right. And then like our road, the road I'm sitting with my best friend, like they kept trying to put it up and down like 3 times. And then like the guy came and like, sorry, we can't close it. But I'm like, it's okay. But I did not like those days. I did not appreciate those days. Those days definitely made me go and be like, dang it, I have to do something. Yeah, I have to start doing something.
So was that a turning point for you as well?
That was one of the turning points, yes, because it was before my surgery for sure. It was here in think it was here in Texas. I
Yeah.
was already here. It was probably 2011, 2012.
Okay. Yeah. So that was one of many turning points for me. It was like, they can't. And I was so embarrassed. I had to get off and walk. I call it the walk of shame. You know, it's the walk of shame. Because it's like, you know, people know why you can't get on a ride, you know, and they can see you. They're like, oh, you're too big to get on the machine, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking away. And,
even though they're not saying it, you know what they're thinking.
Oh, yeah, automatically. Because call a spade a spade. People judge people.
Yeah.
Like, I even do it sometimes.
We live in a judgment society.
Yeah, we had to stop doing that. Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Stop judging.
Stop judging. But that was the beginning for me. It was the first time when I was like, I never want that to happen to me again. Right. I just never want it to happen to me again. So from that moment on, again, I didn't really know much about like nutrition and exercise. I played football, so I knew run and lift weights, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't understand like exercise science, stuff like I do now, right? So I just started running every single day. I did 5 miles every single day, and I literally almost starved myself. So I was eating nothing but fish and vegetables for like, I did this for 2 months straight, and I lost 100 pounds in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So people...
Yeah, when you're that big, you can lose it that fast. Yeah. When you're just fish and veggies, yes, that will do it.
And right. And at the time I didn't know. I was like, oh, that's technically keto. It's really what it was, right?
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about early 2000s. So I was like, I'm just going to starve myself.
Yeah.
So I lost all that, lost 100 pounds in 6 weeks, right?
Wow.
And so people would just be like, oh, I want to do that. I'm like, no, that's not healthy.
That's not recommended.
That's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because from that, I actually got sick. I actually developed hypothyroid from that. It messed my thyroid up, which is why I started studying hormones, understanding how the organs work and how everything started working. Right at that time, I still didn't have as much technology to look up information, but I knew it was something. Right.
Yes.
So I ended up getting hypothyroid, and that kind of deterred me as well. So guess what? I gained weight again.
No, Ricky. Oh my goodness.
Told you I got a bunch of stories.
Oh, well, yeah.
So yeah, I ended up gaining weight again, but I didn't get to 390 pounds or 400 pounds. Right, I went to about maybe 320. Okay, like so I went down from 400 pounds back down to like 200. Then I ended up gaining almost 100 pounds all over again.
But that it started because of the thyroid problem. Now, not really you eating anything and everything.
Well, that's why I say it's your environment pretty much dictates how you're going to act, right? Because I didn't have the education, I didn't know what it was, right? Okay. So I started gaining weight, you know, after I got sick, and I was like, "What's happening?" Right? So when I started gaining weight, I just stopped caring again, and I went back to eating bad again. You know, okay. So it was like, well, nothing's working, so screw it. Who cares?
So it's like that caring for yourself mindset wasn't fully developed.
No.
Wasn't like up there to make yourself keep going and keep doing the routine. Maybe switch it a little bit. Don't starve yourself. But wow. Right.
And that's why I say everything. Most time when you're motivated, which is a whole nother conversation, is situational. You know what I mean? So the situation from being embarrassed made me want to lose weight. Right. So when I gained weight again. Again, I told you I got tons of stories. So around the next time I gained that extra 100 pounds. Me and my kid's mom, we broke up, divorced or whatever, because I got married at a young age, and I started dating again. And then I got with this one girl. She told me I was fat and ugly. I was like, oh.
She was probably fat and ugly.
Well, now she is. Anyway.
I hope she's listening to this.
Sorry, not sorry, but you know, I don't even know what she is right now. I'm just talking noise. I promise you, we got to delete that part.
We're talking mess. Don't
finish. But so that when she told me I was fat and ugly or unattractive, that motivated me again.
Okay,
you know, it was like, you'll never babysit to me ever in life again.
Yeah,
you know, so. I got really serious. I lost a bunch of weight again, you know?
Okay.
So if I say everything is really situational, but it didn't really click until, I'll be honest with you. I'm 42 now. It didn't click until I got into my late 30s, like 35, 36 years old.
Oh, wow.
When it really, like, I'll tell you another story, but
fourth story.
I'll tell you the last story, then you give me something else. But I lost the weight. Right. And then I'm a drummer as well. Right. So I started playing drums around Houston, but then I had an opportunity to go to LA. and do some Hollywood stuff, right? And I was out there for a minute. That's how I ended up being homeless. And I did a whole starving musician thing. I was homeless for almost 2 years, right?
Oh, wow.
And so I gotta be careful when I talk about this situation because like Hollywood crap. But in that situation, it didn't pan out properly, right? And they wanted to pick other band members who were not overweight, because at the time I wasn't overweight, but I wasn't like fit, and I didn't look the part, right?
Oh,
so I got let go because I didn't look the part.
Because you didn't look.
Yeah. So that was that whole thing where it's like, we need people who look the part, the Hollywood part. And I was like, okay. So I went through another phase again.
Another phase.
Yeah. So I ended up gaining weight again because I was sad, depressed, and broke. So it was so I'm eating anything on the fast food menu. I'm like, look, I'm Jack in the Box tacos. That's what you could afford. That's what I could afford. Like, you know what I mean? So everything was fast food. Everything was quick, and everything was dollar store food. So I gained a bunch of weight again.
Okay.
Right. And then something else happened where I had another opportunity to do some more Hollywood stuff. And then my aunt, and I love her to life right now, she gave me the opportunity to live with her while I was in LA. Right, because I think I was couch surfing, living with different people, sleeping in my cars, all that weird stuff. Right.
Okay.
So she gave me opportunity to live with her. Right. So when she did that, she was like, "Get yourself together." There was another turning point for me. And if the gym right around the corner, well, actually, no, I didn't even start going to the gym until later. So she let me live in her basement. Right. And I used to work out every single day. I would just do push-ups, sit-ups, run up and down. And she lived in California, so run up and down the hills every single morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was another turning point. We was like, okay, I'm going to get my life back together. So that's the last story.
That's
I got 10
the
more,
last
but
turning point story.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, they're very good stories because you're showing us and telling us how motivation, empowerment in its essence is situational. It's what you do with it. It's how you believe in it. Right. It's how you put it into action into your life.
Absolutely.
Because definitely, like in so many different points in your life that it's like you were like on this high, then boof, something brings you back down. Right. So it's at the end of the day, it's learning how to manage when you're back down, how to keep the feelings of the high, even though you're down here.
Right. Well, that's another thing too. So the funny thing I've learned, even in this empowerment journey, you're not always empowered, right? You know what I mean? You get that moment where, like, for lack of a better term, shit just sucks. It just sucks, right? And that's why I switched from being empowered to being disciplined.
Okay.
It's like, no, I feel empowered, but then the empowerment comes after I become disciplined. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, no, I'm gonna do the thing I don't want to do, and now the empowerment is kicking in. And that's what I've developed. Even to this day, like I didn't want to work out before I came here, but I felt empowered after I did it. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Yes. So that's where I started looking at everything from that perspective of no, just do it, and then the empowerment kicks in. You know what I mean? Versus, I feel empowered. Why? I just feel it. Like, what do you feel? You know what I mean? Like, I had these real conversations with myself. It's like, how do you feel? Why do you feel that way? And what do you want to do with it?
Oh, guys, catch that. Tell us again. Ask yourself.
How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Why do you feel that way?
Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel that way?
And what do you want to do with it?
And what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you ask yourself those questions, you give yourself an opportunity to gain clarity on what, let's say, motivation or empowered. Why do you feel empowered? What's the motivation coming from, and what do you want to do with it? Because so, for lack of better terms, we could say, I say motivation is kind of bullshit, right?
Yes.
And because you just like, I feel motivated. It's like, why do you feel motivated?
Yes. It can only go so long.
Yeah.
But you're giving us another perspective that we hadn't mentioned in the show so far, which is you do the action first and then you let the empowerment flow in.
Yeah.
That we hadn't looked at it that way. And I completely understand what you mean, because sometimes I don't want to go do my workout. You know, I feel motivated to go and get in my car and go.
Right.
But then once I get out, I feel definitely empowered. I feel like, wow, I just got through my session.
Exactly.
The good hormones are right there in my brain. And it's fantastic. I'm glad you brought that perspective, because I don't think people have heard it that way or seen it that way.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of get stuck in this one monolithic way of thinking of like, you know, I have to feel something. Like, no, you're not going to always feel something. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not always going to feel motivated to go do it. Yeah.
I can't say that on this show, but anyway, I got to filter my words. But, you know, like, kind of forget your feelings. You know, just forget your feelings for a moment, you know, because like when I ask people what motivates them, like some mothers are, some of my clients I coach, what motivates you? It's like, oh, my kids or my mom or just other people motivate you, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when the person that motivates you makes you mad?
Oh, then it demotivates you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're not motivated more. So what's the real motivation? Like now you got to find a new motivation. It's like, well, I want money, but the money you want is not coming right now. So what else motivates you, right? Yeah. So getting out of that, like something has to motivate you, has really taken my mindset to a whole nother level. I've learned to acknowledge how I feel. I don't want to do it. Right.
Okay.
Screw it. I just don't want to do it. Right.
Okay.
And once I start doing it, that feeling of the results I'm going to get is what makes me feel good.
Is what makes you feel good.
Yeah. So I start thinking about the results. So most times people get stuck on, I want to lose weight.
Yes.
Let's jump on that part. Right. I just want to lose weight. It's like, why do you want to lose weight? I just want to. No.
It's the why.
I need you to define why you want to lose weight, because when you feel like crap and you don't feel like doing it, then you're going to be like, I don't want to do this no more.
I don't want to. Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
What is the reason? Why do you want to lose weight? You know,
it's a purpose. Yeah.
You have to have a purpose.
Yeah. We've been talking about that too. Like you have to have a strong why.
Right.
You have to have that strong purpose that's going to drive you, that's going to motivate you, that's going to empower you to keep going in whatever you're trying to achieve, because or else it's just going to
go away.
Yeah, it's going to go away like this. Like if you, at the end of the day, you want to see the finish line, you know, you always see the finish line, and the finish line should always empower you.
Right.
But it's the discipline to go through the way to the finish line.
Exactly.
Just like everybody says, it's the journey, it's going through it. Right. It's I think maybe it's finding your empowerment through the journey, so that when you're at the finish line, you realize that you enjoyed the whole process. You were able to empower your whole process and not really, like, you know, go from high to the low, from the low to the high, because that also affects your emotional well-being. Like just going from 100 to 50 or 100 to 30, it's a constant. It's like, guys, think about it. Like you're 100% positive and then bam, you're only 30% positive. Like, like you're 100% empowered and then bam, 20% empowered.
Right.
So imagine going through that on a daily basis, maybe weekly basis. And what would you think is best? To try to always stay at the 100%, or even if you could at least reach a 70%.
Thank you.
Just because you're telling yourself, I'm disciplined enough to keep going through this and to keep my word to myself.
Absolutely.
And that's actually something I was mentioning today in my Spanish side. Because it's a little bit more, there's more on my Spanish Instagram than my English. But I was telling them that at the end of the day, how you keep your word to yourself, how you keep your promises to yourself, your goals and everything you keep achieving, everything only for yourself, is what will give you that self-confidence, what will give you that self-empowerment to keep going, because you realize, like, it's only me against me. It's only me for me, right? Like you see how your own feelings can be good, and in an instant you can achieve something, right? You can build off of your good feelings, guys, because that's where the empowerment is coming from yourself, from the good things you've already done. And I think you sent me a post today about that too, right? That you need to be thinking constantly about the things you've already achieved, the things you're already done for yourself, and stay at that high level note of thinking, of mindset, of emotional feelings and everything, for you to keep building on that versus building off of when you feel poopy. Right.
I love you. Poopy.
Just poopy. Just poopy. I want to say the SHIT.
You just said it too late.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm glad you brought all these perspectives in, and that's so much fun. Okay, so on that note, let's take our little break and let's think about what was our empowering thought of the day, guys. So guys, stay tuned, comment your empowering thought of the day, and we'll be back shortly. All right.
You know, every now and then, I think you might like to hear something from us. Nice, easy. But there's just one thing. You see, we never, ever do nothing. Nice, easy. We always do it nice, rough. But we're going to take the beginning of this song and do it easy. But then we're going to do the finish rough. It's the way we do. Proud Mary. And we're rolling, ooh, rolling, ooh, rolling on the river. Listen to the story. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, and I was worried about the way that things might have been. That big wheel keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, and we're rolling, 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 yeah, rolling, rolling on the river. The river cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis, popped a lot of change down in New Orleans. But I never saw the good side of the city until I hitched a ride on the riverboat queen. The big wheel keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, and we're rolling, 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 yeah, rolling, rolling on the river. The river. Say we're rolling, 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 yeah, rolling, rolling on the river. The river. Working for the man every night and day, and I never lost a minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. So we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. The river. New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of a city till I hit the ride on the riverboat queen. Big wheel keep on turning, turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, and we're rolling, so we're rolling on the river. I tell you we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. If you come down to the river, I bet you're gonna find some people who live. And you don't have to worry if you got no money. People on the river are happy to be here. Big wheel keep on turning, turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, and you're rolling, and you're rolling, and you're rolling on the river. Till there's no time rolling, yeah.
All right, guys. Remember, if you like our music, download the app. LV with Val app. Link is in my bio. You know it. Okay, guys. So, Mr. Ricky, what was your empowering thought of the day?
Man, the first thing that comes to my mind is I always say, like, qualify yourself for the thing that you want. That's like my always going statement. A lot of times we have imposter syndrome, and I always like to say, you know what? If I'm doing the thing that I say I want to do, then I qualify myself for it. So it empowers me. It's like I'm already doing the thing that I think I can't do.
Okay.
So stop being stupid.
Qualify yourself for the thing you want to do and stop being stupid. Okay. And Miss Abigail.
My empowering thought of the day is it's kind of on the lines of what Ricky said, actually, is to just take every opportunity that comes your way, because you don't know how that's going to help shape you and grow you. You know, like sometimes I think we hold off on things because we think it might be too hard, or we think we're not able to do it. But if you take those opportunities,
now you can hear me. I was basically saying, if you guys didn't hear me, to take every opportunity that comes your way, because you never know how that can be a door to something else in life. So just take every opportunity, whether it be in a social friendship kind of way, professionally, or maybe you have a cool hobby that you like to do. Just take every chance you can.
Just do it.
Take every chance.
Nike, just do it.
We're not associated with Nike. Don't charge us.
Right.
We don't bill us.
You up.
Okay, my empowering thought, guys, is I love who I am being, and today I'm going to be exactly that and more. Yay, empowering thoughts.
Hand claps.
Woo. We do have one. I just can't remember which one it is later on. So, right. So, guys, we've been talking about empowerment with Ricky, his story with his morbidly obesity, his ups and downs, how he views empowerment. And remember, we've said on the show, empowerment is a decision. Empowerment must have a strong why and a strong purpose, because empowerment does not last forever, right? We've said that empowerment is, I think last episode we said, empowerment is the belief about yourself. And today we said empowerment is discipline. Yeah.
Bingo, you hit it.
Bingo. So, Ricky, tell us, how do you then empower yourself today, other than the discipline and other than thinking like, it'll come later?
So on a bigger scale of our human existence, I like to think of like making my life make sense.
Okay.
Because if you just start doing things because you're obligated to do it or because everybody expects you to do it, then you're doing everything because of everybody else, and you live an expectation life instead of living an intentional life, right? So while I'm here on this earth, it's like, no, I need to make sense of this thing. What I mean? Like, make sense of what you're doing, because eventually you get to a point where it's like nothing I'm doing making sense, and I don't want to be here no more, right? Then you just kind of get depressed. That's when you start making these bad choices, and then everything just sucks after that, right? Then you start doing these substance things. You're trying to find a person or anything to substitute what you really, really want. Right. So make everything you do make sense. Like, do it actually on purpose. So for me, it's like, I don't want to just get up and be like nonchalantly doing things. It's like, no. Why am I doing that? What's the purpose of me doing that particular thing? So every morning I get up, it's like, what's the point today? What's the reason why I'm doing this thing? It's kind of it works in my benefit because I ask a lot of questions. So what's the point? What a reason? Once I give myself a reason to do a thing, then I feel empowered. Then I move forward.
Once it makes sense.
It has to make sense.
It has to make sense.
If it don't make sense, it's just stupid. Sorry. It's just dumb. It's like, what's the point of doing it?
If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. It won't make you feel empowered.
Right. And it's situational. Like, what I always say, what works good for me doesn't work good for somebody else. You have to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
We say that repeatedly, and because we can give advice all day long. We can tell you, try it this way, try it this other way. But as long as if you don't know what exactly it is that you want or how you want it, then it's never gonna work for you.
Right.
It's just you're gonna keep being stuck on the cycle of repeating the bad things or the bad habits that you're trying to get out of.
Right. And then those habits, they literally become you.
Mm-hmm.
You become your habits.
You become your
The
habits.
thing you're not trying
Yeah.
to break those habits is like, that's when it gets hard. You know,
Yeah.
you point a person's bad habits out,
Yeah.
and then they're like, no, that's not me. No, look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
The results are plain as day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We
it's
talk,
right there.
who you are behind closed doors is exactly who you are.
Which is why I don't close doors.
Exactly. Don't close the doors. Rickey's an open book.
I'm a total open book. It kind of scares people sometimes, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, for those of us that are like on this side of the spectrum, that we've become coaches, we've gone through the training and the discipline of understanding why we must have that mindset, the emotional shifts, and be constantly aware of how we're acting, what we're doing, what we're saying, etc.
Right.
It's very easy for us, I feel like, to say like I feel like to reflect or catch ourselves faster than people who aren't, right? That's why they're listening to us, because they're looking for our guidance.
Right.
And so for us, I feel like it's so easy for, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just, I'm motivated. I'm empowered right now to go to the gym. Like, but for others, it's so hard. It's like, I've gotten comments or questions like, what do I do when I really don't feel like empowering myself to even get through my day, right? This is somebody who's definitely either a little bit depressed or in a state of mind where they don't want to cope or feel what they need to feel.
Right.
And it's kind of, to me, sometimes the easy thing is like, well, don't think about it. Don't think about it. But when that person is already so deep in that thought, in that state, it's hard. It's very hard for them to get out of there. It's very hard for them to see the other side of like, just don't think about it. Right.
Yeah. Honestly, I tell them to think about it.
Think about it. Okay, think about it. And why do you tell them to think about it?
Well, it's a matter of facing your demons.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're avoiding the obvious, you're only delaying your results.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to face that. I don't want to face that. Well, you stay in your situation as long as you want to. I'm not going to help you deal with that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, the whole don't think about it. And it's not saying this is right or wrong, right?
No, because it's solutions.
Yeah.
It's perspectives. It's options that you have when you're in these types of states.
Exactly. So what I started coaching people on is understanding your strengths and weakness and taking on how much you know how to take on.
Yeah.
Right. But you still got to take it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still got to take it on. So I always like to use the illustration of going to the gym. Right.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, that's why I say fitness is life.
Yeah.
So if you haven't worked out in 5 years, I'm not going to expect you to go on the bench and bench press 200 pounds.
Of course not.
It doesn't make sense, right?
But I feel like some people come in with that mindset, even though they haven't been in the gym for 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you crazy?
Right. But that's why they don't last long.
Yeah.
Because they have these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Or
of themselves.
Yeah. And they're living in the past.
And
they're like, I used to be able to do this. I used to do that. And I always say, used to be's don't make no honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, like you used to do that, but you haven't done that in 5 years. And you really think you're going to jump up and do that? No. So every situation is exactly the same. So if you want to change your life, you really think you're going to just up and change everything in a couple of months?
No.
How much can you take?
It takes years.
How much weight have you gained? Literally, not just physical weight, but also emotional weight, situational weight.
Yeah.
You know, kids, past trauma, drama, that's all weight, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just drop everything.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to handle your own weight. And then figure out how much you can handle, and then start lifting that weight slowly but surely, right? Like somebody like myself, that's why I say I just face my demons. It's like I call myself fat often. They're just me personally, and I'm not telling nobody to do that. Don't be like me. I have to do it for myself, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what makes me better. That's why this year I was like, no, I'm become a pro bodybuilder. How am I going to do it? Well, you're fat, bro. Like you don't look like a bodybuilder. Call a spade. It is what it is. Like I'm fit. You know, remember I've been in fitness for forever, so I've done physique shows. You know, I've done like cross training stuff like that. But bodybuilding is a whole nother monster. Like it's extremely disciplined. You know, and it's very, very slow. It's not like I could tell anybody how to lose weight in a couple of weeks. That's easy. Building muscle, getting
hard.
bigger. Oh my God, it's hard, right?
It's hard.
But I know how much I can take.
Okay.
And I know how to handle myself. I face my demons instead of me going at it and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this in a couple of months. No, bro. Hey, bro, you're fat right now, and you don't look like that, and you got to call a spade. But the but is, I say after I do that, I immediately initiate my plan. I got a plan. You know what I'm saying? Hey, in 2 months, you should look like this. In the next 2 months, you're going to change this up. The next 2 months. So it's a plan, right? Which I always say, look, face your demons and know how to face your demons. Know how to beat them jokers. Because they ain't going away. Don't nobody say. Like, they're
not going to go away unless you actually face them. You know, get some holy water on them, on your own demons.
Right.
You're right. Because if we don't, that is how we grow internally at the end of the day. And if we don't grow internally, we will not grow externally. Exactly. So it's like, again, nature doesn't wait for the flowers to come out or the bees or anything. Right. So why are you waiting on something else to come out here and grow and be yourself and empower yourself and do everything that you want?
Right. You've been waiting forever, and the answer's right in your face.
And it's right in your face. It's you. It's you. You're waiting for yourself.
Right.
You're waiting for yourself. It's very I just like the contrast, because I know that a lot of people that can probably are listening to us and everything are like probably saying like, well, maybe for you see it that way, but I don't see it that way. And, you know, they're creating the drama in their heads because, again, they're in a different state of mind. So if you're in that state of mind, just know those are demons. You can always face them. You can always put the holy water on them and become better. Have a better mindset. Have a better attitude about your life. Have a better life overall.
Exactly.
Right.
This state of mind is a whole. Sorry, go ahead. I can.
No, keep going. The state of mind.
When people say that, you know, we have different states of mind, there's really only 3 states of mind you can be in: past, present, or future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So which state of mind are you living in? Right? Are you living in the past? You ain't gonna last, right? If you're in the future, you're probably stressing yourself out, right? But right now is this most consistent thing you have right now. So instead of you being like, oh, that's not how I live, like even the Bible said there's nothing new under the sun, right? So anything you say is like, it's already been done.
Exactly.
Any excuse you make, it's already been said and done. So you're like, that's not for you. Yes. The problem is you haven't figured out what works best for you.
Exactly. It means that they keep copying and pasting other people's methods, other people's success.
Right.
And then they're getting frustrated because they're comparing themselves. They're seeing that they're not getting the same results. Again, somebody else's life and what works for them is not going to work for you. So find out what works for you. Okay, don't compare yourselves out there, because you're only going to drain yourself, you're only going to frustrate yourself, and you're only going to think negatively of yourself.
Absolutely. You got time for that.
Yeah, nobody has time to think negative of yourself. The other day, we were, Abigail and I were having lunch, and she was saying that, oh, I love food and everything, but I think I want to do the healthier options because I'm looking like this and like this. And I'm like, Abigail, please stop the negative self-talk while we're eating. I'm like, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
No.
Like, that's the worst time to even start thinking about it.
Exactly, because like and she's gorgeous either way already, but you know, like herself, just because she wants to get out of that her current state, and so she's just kind of like, maybe she's still processing the proper words to motivate herself, but definitely don't go the negative way, Abigail.
Yeah. I mean, you got to pick and choose when you want to be negative. I'm okay. Me personally, again, even when I coach people, I say, look, I need you to take 10 minutes to be as negative as you want to. Like, and then let that shit out.
Yeah.
Get it out of your system.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. You know, because the problem is most people hold on to shit, intentionally.
Yeah.
And then they end up being full of shit. So, like, you know, like they just hold on to it so much and they never let it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. You can't put something in if you don't let something out. So isn't it holding on to all this stuff, and it's like, just say how you really feel. Just get the negative stuff out of your system. So, now here's the thing. I always say, I'm challenging people with this. I'm saying, say all the negative things, kind of we talked about earlier, but then say what you want to do with it.
Okay.
If you do that, now we have a good balance, and it's not just you spewing out and super soaking people with negativity. You know what I mean? It's like, no, like, say how you feel, but then after that, you got to do something with it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, now you giving it to me, and I'm holding on to your negativity. So this whole negative exchange of energy is ruining both of us. So I'm like, no. Okay, so how you feel? But I need you to fix it.
I need you to fix it.
Don't leave that with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That the whole exchange of energy is real. So
Yes,
I'm like,
it
no,
is.
no,
Yeah.
don't-
It, like if you feel frustrated and you go talk to somebody and with that frustration and everything else, they're also gonna feel
Yeah.
frustrated. Yeah.
don't leave that with me. Take it back with you.
Exactly. We absorb almost, I think, I want to say, I don't know the statistic, but I want to say at least 60% of the person who's interacting with us, because it's a, it's a cycle, it's a balance.
Yeah, it's
as we give, so we should receive. Absolutely,
100%. There's statistically speaking. So you use 20% energy just thinking, right? Just sitting here, just thinking
and thinking nonsense.
Yeah, thinking nonsense, regular stuff. So it's an additional 20% when you're stressed out. Right. So now it's another 20% when you're trying to think about what somebody else is thinking about. So that's where the whole 60% thing come in at. It's like, so you're taking 60% of your energy to just think. And now you got,
and it's so exhausting to think sometimes.
And then now you got 40% left, and then
that's
when I talk about nutrition, sleeping, and all that good stuff. So like technically, you
meditation,
everything. So you burnt up all of your energy, and you got 40% left. What you gonna do with it? Well, you haven't eaten enough, you haven't meditated, you haven't rested properly. So now you feel depleted. Now you're depressed. Now you're making bad choices, and now this cycle begins all over again.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's just that part of getting a person out of these bad habits and thinking unnecessarily is what I've been focusing on.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. The habits. Remember, guys, habits are what you do on an automatic basis every day. Like brushing your teeth, washing your face, taking a shower, all those things are habits.
Right.
So the more aware that you are of your habits, the more aware you are of the results that you're going to attain in your life, right? You're going to be able to, it's simply like having the habit of going to the gym 5 days a week. It can become automatic like that. And then when you haven't gone to the gym, your body is like needing it. It's telling you, we need to go to the gym. We need to go to the gym, because that's the habit you have now put into automatic. And now your body needs it for you to be able to feel, or what's the word I'm thinking? Operate at that good level, at that max level that you want to feel good. Because I'm sure when you were in your eat, work, sleep, repeat, there was nothing in there about how am I feeling? My energy is depleted. Am I meditating? Right.
No, it was more of, again, you operate out of bad habit and expectations.
Bad habits,
yeah, bad habit and expectations. So I'm expected to get up and go to work. I'm expected to provide for the family. I'm expected to eat. Some basic stuff, but none of it is consciously done.
None of it.
So when you start consciously doing things, now you can make better choices.
Better choices
instead of just like blindly and zombily walking around. Zombily. That's a new word.
Zombily. Yeah. You're like Brother Carter making up new words on the show.
I got a new word, y'all. Quit zombily walking around. But that's true though. It's just like unconsciously zombily walking around, and you expecting these results. You're expecting the change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're literally walking dead. And like, wake up, pay attention to the things you're doing. And here's the thing. I practiced this over. You asked me this earlier, and I wanted to say this, but I don't get settled with the current state that I'm in.
Okay.
There's always growth.
Yeah.
Like you're never, ever, ever done. So even when I'm training and coaching people, whether it's fitness or mindset related, whatever it is, it's like you realize that even when you get there, you're still not done.
You're still not done because you want more. And you always want more.
You can always want more.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on a big scale of, multi-million-dollar stuff or more houses and stuff like that. It's just
it's almost as simple as the feeling.
Yeah, you just want a new feeling.
You just want the feeling.
Yeah,
you
got to recreate that feeling over
and over again.
Now your life makes sense.
Exactly. The feeling of making your life make sense, I feel like it's very empowering to me, for sure, because I started on my path as a coach and everything, and I started doing my vision boards, my goals vision boards, everything's on there. Right. And then now I really actually stopped before I made my 2024 vision board. I stopped and actually paid attention. I'm like, hey, this is accomplished, this is accomplished, this is done, this is done. So I had to take off images from my vision board and put new ones up because, again, it's never enough. It's not that it's never enough because you've achieved a certain level of life. It's just that you just want to keep going because you love it so much.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Like,
you're supposed to love your life. You're supposed to want to keep going with your life and doing new things and exploring new things, feeling new things, everything.
Right.
Be an adventurer of your own life.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like people get depressed because they keep depressing. The progression.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you stick in this negative spot.
Yeah.
And you keep depressing who you should be and you stop evolving. So now you devolve and now you depress and then now you like, I don't have a life. It's like, yeah, you depressed all your emotions.
Exactly.
You depressed all your evolutionary mindset to move forward. Like, no, you're supposed to keep moving forward. You're never supposed to like settle. Now, there's a huge difference between being like cocky and wanting too much. Versus,
because then that's when things go bad because then you're acting from greed and bad intentions.
Not greedy at all. I just want to keep evolving.
You want to keep evolving in a safe space, in a nice space in your life.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah, guys. Remember, at the end of the day, if let's say you are depressed, if you are there, just remember that your brain is like a house full of emotions. So the room that you constantly keep going into is the one that's always going to be available.
That's good. Say it again.
The room that you keep going into is the only one that's going to be available.
I like that.
So at the end of the day, choose different rooms and start exploring. Start exploring your own mindset. What other feelings, what other things motivate you? What other things empower you at the end of the day? So, Ricky, any last thoughts, tips, tricks for everybody?
Oh, I got tons of tips and tricks. My biggest thing is take the time to understand your thoughts. Understand why you think that way. What do you want to do with it and how you're going to move forward with it? And that just gives you a little bit more self-awareness and it gives you more confidence in everything that you're going to do. Just take the time to just understand yourself, instead of trying to outwardly seek attention from other people. Or it's nothing wrong with getting advice from other people, but you really got to figure your own self out. Like, take the time to figure your own self out and be so confident in yourself that it doesn't bother you when somebody else is bothered by you being confident. In other words, don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a poopy. Don't give a poopy.
Yeah, don't give a poopy.
Yeah, we actually had to talk about that, Abigail, right? The other day, we were talking about how, because we're very extroverted people and we're out there, we're happy, we're smiling almost 24/7. And so when we've interacted with people that see this as like, kind of like
maybe like you're too much,
like you're too much, like you can't be this nice, you can't be this peppy all the time, like they doubt who you truly are because to them it almost seems fake.
Well, they have a problem with themselves too. They're like, well, I hate my life, so how can you be so happy? How can you be so like positive all the time when I'm not? And it's because when people are that negative, it's because they're dealing with something all on their own.
Yeah, they're very narcissistic and selfish
at a certain point. Yeah, like you can't let it get to you.
Yeah,
they're very selfish.
So don't give a poopy.
Don't give a poopy.
She says it so nicely.
Yeah.
Just such a sweet, soft.
I know, right? Don't give a poopy. Like,
don't give the poopy.
Shit.
All right, guys. Well, you guys, this was awesome. Thank you, Ricky, for being here. Thank you for accepting my invite. Thank you for this wonderful conversation, all the tips and the tricks and the stories, because that was amazing. I did not expect you to say 15 years at all. I was like, wow, that's a long. And me, like I discovered that I've had enough because I had the childhood obesity, and once I hit 18, 19, I was like, I'm done. I'm through. I'm throwing my towel to the ground. I'm saying I'm through. Cut the show. I need to change my life. And now I'm 29. I feel positive. I feel great. I feel it's definitely one of the reasons I became a coach, even though I didn't know it back then. I feel like I know it now that it was definitely the paths I had to start taking to become who I am today.
Right.
And who knows, definitely different paths will come as I keep becoming the coach Anna, the businesswoman Anna, and everything else.
You're doing it.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, that is our Empower Hour with Coach Anna and our wonderful guest, Rickey Getwood. Remember, Rickey, how can they find you? What's your social media?
Yo, literally just type in Rickey Getwood Jr. and I'm on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Just Rickey Getwood Jr. I just pop up all over the place. I'm the only one in the world.
Yeah, guys. So, final thoughts, guys. Remember our 3 questions that Rickey told us. How do you feel right now?
Mhm.
Why do you feel like that? And what do you want to do with what you're feeling? Yeah. And then last one is say all the negative stuff right now. 10 minutes. Say everything you need to say that's negative, and then go do something about it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and don't take poopy. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, LV with Val Radio is always here. Good music, fun things, and your wonderful coach, Anna. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Another day has gone. I'm still